Welcome to today's episode, where we'll dive into the art of small talk at work. Raj, when you walk into the break room, what's a natural way to start a conversation with someone you only know casually?
Great question. I usually start with something light and universal, like, "Hey, how's it going?" Or, "How's your morning treating you?" These openers are non-intrusive and invite a friendly response, setting a relaxed tone for further conversation.
Absolutely, and it's interesting how even a simple, not too bad, thanks, can build rapport. Why do you think these phrases are so effective in professional settings?
They work because they don't demand personal details just enough to show you care. In fact, a recent survey showed 78% of respondents felt more comfortable at work when greeted with small talk. It creates a sense of belonging while respecting boundaries.
Let's explore some common ways to answer those daily check-ins. For example, can't complain or same old, same old. Raj, can you break down what these really mean?
Sure, can't complain is a polite way to say things are okay, even if they're not perfect. Same old signals, nothing much has changed. These expressions are like verbal shortcuts. They keep things positive without oversharing.
I like that analogy, like hitting the snooze button on deep topics. Why might someone choose these phrases instead of a detailed answer?
It's about balancing honesty with professionalism. You acknowledge the question, but keep things light, which is often preferred in fast-paced or diverse workplaces where everyone's time and comfort levels differ.
Moving on, let's talk about the classic go-to, the weather. Why is chatting about the weather so common, Emily?
Well, discussing the weather is safe and relatable. Everyone experiences it, so it's a neutral topic. For instance, saying, "Looks like we're in for another rainy day," invites empathy and often gets a smile or a shared story.
And sometimes it leads to unexpected connections. I once mentioned a cold morning, and a coworker recommended a new coffee spot. So even mundane topics can spark real conversation.
Exactly. Studies suggest weather talk helps break down social barriers, especially in multicultural offices. It's a simple bridge to more meaningful interaction.
Let's dig into how to keep the conversation friendly and polite. If someone says they're feeling pretty busy, what's a natural way to respond?
A good reply might be, "Hang in there," or "Hope it eases up soon." These phrases show empathy without prying. They're supportive, but not invasive, perfect for professional environments.
That's helpful. It's interesting how tone and word choice matter. For example, hang in there can be encouraging, while that sounds tough acknowledges their struggle gently.
Right. And the key is to sound genuine. Overly formal or robotic responses can feel distant. A friendly tone, even when brief, makes all the difference.
Another great way to connect is by chatting about weekend plans. Raj, how do you bring up this topic without sounding intrusive?
I usually ask, "Got any fun plans for the weekend?" It's open-ended and gives the other person control over how much they share. Even a simple, "nothing special, just relaxing" can spark a new direction in the conversation.
Exactly, and sometimes these chats reveal shared interests, like hiking or cooking. That's how work friendships often start.
Definitely. Research shows colleagues who discuss non-work topics feel more connected and motivated. It's a subtle way to build trust over time.
Let's talk about humor in small talk. Emily, how can gentle jokes make workplace conversations smoother?
Light humor, like joking about the never-ending coffee supply or Monday blues, eases tension and makes interactions memorable. Just be sure the humor is appropriate for the setting, nothing too personal or risky.
That's a good reminder. A well-timed quip can energize a tired team, but misreading the room can have the opposite effect.
Absolutely. Studies in workplace psychology suggest that light humor can boost creativity and reduce stress if used thoughtfully.
Now, let's shift to active listening. How does showing real interest help maintain a conversation, Raj?
Active listening means making eye contact, nodding, and using phrases like, "Really?" or "No way." It signals you're engaged. For example, if someone mentions a new project, asking a follow-up like, "How's it going?" keeps things flowing.
So, it's less about having the perfect answer and more about being present. That's reassuring for language learners worried about making mistakes.
Exactly. Even simple feedback like, "That's interesting," helps your coworker feel heard and valued. It's the foundation of good small talk.
Every conversation has its pauses. What's a smooth way to handle awkward silences or change the subject?
A gentle segue works wonders. Try, by the way, have you tried the new cafeteria menu? Or, speaking of weekends, did you see the game? These transitions keep the chat lively and prevent discomfort.
That's smart. Transition phrases act like bridges, helping the conversation move naturally without feeling forced.
Exactly, and with practice, these transitions become second nature. They're vital tools for anyone aiming to sound fluent and confident.
Let's discuss wrapping up small talk. Emily, what are some polite ways to end a break room chat without seeming abrupt?
You can say, well, I'd better get back to it, or let's catch up again soon. These phrases signal you're leaving, but value the interaction. It's like putting a friendly bookmark in the conversation.
Right, and adding a smile or a quick, have a good one softens the ending. No one feels brushed off or ignored.
Exactly. These polite endings leave a positive impression, making future interactions even smoother.
To wrap up, let's give listeners a challenge. Imagine you're entering the break room. What's your go-to small talk phrase?
Try starting with, hey, how's your morning going? Or, did you catch the news today? Practice responding with phrases like, can't complain or hang in there.
Great advice. Listeners, your challenge is to create a short role play using 3 of today's expressions. This will help make small talk feel more natural and automatic.
Remember, the more you practice, the more confident you'll become. And don't be afraid to add your own style. Small talk is about connection, not perfection.